Hello Jaxson, thank you for sending us your question. You wanted to know if pirates were real and whether they stole treasure. Well, I can tell you they definitely were real, but maybe not in quite the same way that we think of them. So in this video, we're going to have a look at some real historical pirates and think about some of the myths that there are about pirates in general. So let's explore. A few centuries ago, people began to trade across the world in large numbers, and lots of people were travelling across the seas and oceans between countries and continents. They did this on ships, and where you have ships carrying lots of valuable items, from gold to sugar, and sadly also slaves, you get pirates. There are a few different pirates in history that were said to have come from places near here. Probably the most famous of these was Blackbeard. Blackbeard's real name was Edward Teach, but he was called Blackbeard due to his habit of putting lit fuses into his long black beard to look scary to his enemies. He had strong connections with Bristol, and there are various places that still exist around the city where it is said he either lived or drank. Blackbeard's crew and his ship, known as the Queen Anne's Revenge, were feared throughout the West Indies and the American colonies during the golden age of piracy, which was around 300 years ago. Another famous pirate, who was born not far from here in Pembrokeshire in Wales, was Bartholomew Roberts, also known as Black Bart. He was one of the most successful pirates of the golden age of piracy, capturing hundreds of vessels, both around the West Indies and off the British coast. The odd thing about most pirates from history is that we only know small bits of information about most of them. Even the ones who we think we know quite a lot about, such as Blackbeard or Black Bart, were probably using different names than the ones that they were born with. Pirates were, after all, criminals, and wanted to give themselves a mysterious and frightening reputation. Partly because of this, there are lots of different myths and things that we think we know about pirates that aren't quite true. Now, when you think of a pirate, is this what you imagine?
Avast ye scurvy sea dogs, 'tis good to see ye. Let's hoist the Jolly Roger. Weigh the anchor, shiver me timbers. 'Tis a great winds a coming up, I can feel it in me old bones. I'll make ye walk the plank, for dead men tells no tales.
Whilst this is the type of pirate that we love, it's really only in stories that you'll find pirates speaking like this. The reason that we think of pirates talking this way is largely because of the actor Robert Newton, who starred in the 1950s Disney movie Treasure Island as fictional pirate Long John Silver. This character was from the West Country, so the actor played him with a strong West Country accent, leading lots of people to think that this was how all pirates talked. In fact, pirates came from all across the country and from other parts of the world, and would simply have spoken with the accent of the place that they came from. Another place where Hollywood shows us one version of something that was actually more varied is with pirate flags. When we think of a pirate flag, most of us think of the skull and crossbones, usually called the Jolly Roger. Actually, different pirates had different flags, like different sporting teams have different kit colours. They were all of a very similar style. Many had black backgrounds and showed grisly symbols on them, like daggers, skulls or bull skeletons, pictures of death or the devil, or even hearts and hourglasses. As well as thinking that all pirates spoke the same, we tend to think that they were all British and they were all men. This isn't quite true either. There are various records of pirates from other nations such as France, Spain and Ireland, and there are also records of some female pirates too. The most famous and successful of these was the amazing Madame Cheng from China, who was the leader of her own pirate navy with hundreds of ships and thousands of sailors. As for treasure, it's certainly true that pirates stole treasure. They attacked other ships as well as coastal ports to plunder what valuable items they could and took them off to their pirate ships. In many stories, they would then take this treasure and bury it somewhere, making a treasure map where X marks the spot. In reality, however, they probably just spent the gold at the next port rather than burying it somewhere. But this pirate myth is very exciting because it gives treasure hunters the hope that they might be able to one day find this buried treasure themselves. The real history of pirates is a lot more varied and interesting than we might usually think. Pirates came from all over the world, spoke in many different languages and accents, were young and old, male and female. The life of a pirate would have been hard and dangerous, but offered the chance of travel, excitement and riches, which is why even today we still like to dress up and pretend to speak like pirates. If you would like to play at being a pirate, there are loads of great stories out there to get some inspiration from, and you can even get involved with Speak Like a Pirate Day, which is on the 19th of September. If you're from the West Country, then speaking like a pirate, even if it is the mythical version rather than the historical version, is already in your blood. So embrace your sea legs, weigh anchor and set sail for pirate adventures.